Thanks, Matt. Can I just ask you, this is kind of a minor, a minor point, but so you went through this list of 4 or 5 priorities, but number 3, you said hostages, the Secretary has no higher priority, but it's number 3.
The ordering of those.
Are you suggesting that is not
the order in which I listed them is not a ascending or descending order of priorities.
Okay. And then when you talk about the trying to prevent the spread, escalation of this, hasn't that already happened now?
So we have obviously seen. I mean, you saw in the beginning of the conflict, you saw strikes start across the northern border that Israel shares with Lebanon. We have not seen those strikes increase to an even more dangerous level, as we were worried they would at some point, and we still run the risk of seeing take place, and we are trying very actively to avoid. We have not seen the conflict spread in to the extent that other countries have been brought into it, something that we have worked hard to avoid. Yes, we have seen the Houthis take dangerous actions in the Red Sea, and that's why you have seen us assemble a coalition, work with our allies and partners to make sure that to make clear that those attacks on commercial shipping are unacceptable. But I don't want to say that we are by any step out of the woods. This has been a top priority from the beginning, something the Secretary and the President recognized on October 7th, and you heard the President speak to it on October 7th, that one of the biggest dangers of this entire situation was that the conflict would spread and we would risk a region-wide conflagration. It's why it's been one of the major focuses of all of his trips and will continue to be a top priority.
Right, but it's not just the Houthis attacks and the thus far relatively minor Hezbollah attacks that are putting or giving weight to fear that this might spread. It's also, what's happened in Beirut, it's what happened in Iraq, in Baghdad today, and regardless of who is behind any of it, what happened in Iran just the other day. So, is there not a concern that what you had potentially forestalled back in October with the deployment of 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to the Eastern Med and the Secretary's visits and visit to Baghdad and to all around the region, that you're now, that those fears that you initially had after the 7th of October have now come back?
I wouldn't say they have come back. I would say the risk is real, the concern is high. It has always been real and the concern has always been high, and that's why the tempo of activity you have seen from this administration to try to lower the risk of widespread regional conflagration has also been high from the beginning. There have been a series of events since October 7th, any number of which raise the risk of further escalation and further conflict. And it's why you've seen us try to take a measured approach. It's why you've seen us you've seen us try to take a measured approach and encourage countries in the region to take a measured approach. And as I said in my opening remarks, have had direct conversations with countries about not taking steps that could unnecessarily escalate the conflict. And it's what the Secretary will do in this trip.